ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة.
The views and opinions expressed by the presenters and guests of Radio Al-Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al-Ansar and the Al-Ansar Foundation.
أحب الوفاء بشتى الصور أحب الوفي الأمين الأغر.
Join me, Faizal MJ Suleman, this and every Saturday on Rise and Shine. Looking forward to gracing the airwaves of Radio Al-Ansar from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Rise and Shine.
أحب الوفاء بشتى الصور أحب الوفي الأمين الأغر فأهل الوفاء كلون السحاب وحسن الربيع وماء المطر أحب الوفاء.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer and master of the universe, the most gracious, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, it is only you that we worship and it's your guidance that we seek. Ya Allah, keep us on the straight path. Ya Allah, show us your choice of blessings. Ya Allah, show us your mercy. Ya Allah, guide us. Greetings, salam, salutations on our beloved Nabi Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. 3 minutes past 8 on this beautiful cold Saturday morning, 4th of July 2026, 18th of Muharram 1448. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome to Rise and Shine Radio Al-Ansar. My name is Faizal MJ Suleman. I'll be your host for the next 1 hour inshallah ta'ala. Yes, it is, as I said, a beautiful Saturday morning. It's nice and cold outside as well, and of course I say it's an absolutely wonderful day. We're thankful to the Almighty. Asif Ili, thank you. You're going to be my tech this morning. Excellent. And of course, Wasima Bucks attending to logistics, and the program is produced by Hajra Kota. That's your Rise and Shine team. Asif's all ready to go. Got the nasheeds all on standby already, and just looks at me and says, Faisal, it's time for some nasiha. Let's take a listen to this clip.
Modern education was not designed to make you smart or wise or a good person. Modern education was designed to make you compliant. It is something that has no or little regard for your status according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has very, very little regard for your adherence to your religious faith, or even sometimes whether you're obeying your parents or doing good in your community. If it recognizes these things, it's very tangential. The big thing that they want you to be is compliant, and that's compliant economically. You're going to enter the workforce. You're going to have an income that the government can tax, and you're going to be able to stomach the lies that your government tells you. When the government tells you that these people want your jobs, or these people hate you for your freedom, or these people are a threat to you, that you're going to be misinformed enough to just nod along and say, oh, wow, that's terrible. I guess I better do what the government says. We've seen this over and over and over again. One book I recommend, Lies My Teacher Told Me, a book I read as a teenager, definitely influential. Many things that we're taught about history simply aren't true, or they're half the truth. We are presented with an idea that our nations are always the heroes and the good guys, that we've always been on the side of right and we defeated those bad commies, as opposed to all of the bloodshed. And sometimes, it's really fascinating to see the asymmetry. I remember when the biggest thing in the news, ISIS, were doing horrible things to women. But in a post-Epstein age, we found out that our elite are doing the same or worse to women. We don't talk about Epstein's sex slaves in the same way, with the same further, doesn't justify military intervention. None of that makes the history books. Oops, sorry. I guess that's not convenient for making you a compliant citizen. It is something that makes you critical. It's something that makes you question. And Islam has a different understanding of education that is more empowering. And it's not meant to turn you into a sheep. It's not meant to turn you into someone who is compliant, because it never divorces the ethical and moral dimension from your education.
This unfolding reality compels us to ask, what is our responsibility before God in this age of the Anthropocene? If humanity has become a force that shapes the planet, then the burden of stewardship and trusteeship has never been heavier.
The ethical and moral dimension is something that is supposed to be right there with you every single step of the way. And so even if you have a teacher who's committing wrongdoing, you're supposed to have the moral training to be like, hey, that's wrong and I'm against it. Even if it's one of my own, even if it's someone from the same family or tribe or ethnicity or religion as me, we're concerned about God being happy with us. We're concerned about right and wrong. We're concerned about having a good afterlife. And that is what empowers us to be critical and empowers us to stand up against falsehood wherever it comes from.
ये ना कोई काम बिगड़ने नहीं देता, बिगड़े भी बना देता है, बस नाम मुहम्मद। नाते सरकार की पढ़ता हूँ मैं, हाँ नाते सरकार की पढ़ता हूँ मैं, बस इसी बात से घर में मेरे रौनक होगी, हाँ तेरा नाम वसीला है मेरा, मेरे सोने आका, एक तेरा नाम वसीला है मेरा, रंजो गम में बस इसी नाम से राहत होगी। उनको मुख्तार बनाया है मेरे मौला ने।
Rising Channel Radio Ansaar 060-904-1056. Yes, we look forward to your WhatsApp messages. First message this morning comes from Sister Surya. She says, praying 5 times a day doesn't guarantee a life without challenges. Instead, it offers protection and guidance, helping you navigate life's tests with grace. The more you pray, the stronger you become, making it easier to face any difficulties that come your way. Thank you for that beautiful message, Sister Surya. Next message comes from Brother Ahmed, and he says, Ayatul Kursi is truly one of the most powerful supplications. Whoever recites it after every Fard Salah is promised Jannah. Nothing stands between them and paradise except death. Just one verse, such an easy habit, yet a reward beyond imagination. Subhanallah, how vast is the mercy of Allah. May our Rabb make us constant upon it and grant us Jannah without hisab. Ameen. Jazakallah khair for those beautiful messages. 060-904-1056. We look forward to your inspirational messages.
Ya Muhammad Muhammad मैं कहता रहा, नूर के मोतियों की लड़ी बन गई, आयतों से मिलाता रहा, आयतों से मिलाता रहा आयतें, फिर जो देखा तो नाते नबी बन गई। या मुहम्मद मुहम्मद मैं कहता रहा, नूर के मोतियों की लड़ी बन गई। या मुहम्मद मुहम्मद।
Message comes from Mrs. Rahman. Assalamu alaikum Faizal. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Allah, make us all pious and righteous. Ya Allah, with your power of jazb, make us yours. Ya Allah, we want the hearts that you give to the awliya siddiqeen. Ya Allah, bless us with the ni'mat. that you give to your awliya siddiqeen, Ya Allah. We want those hearts which are filled with nur and your tajalli, Ya Allah. We want those hearts which are filled with your love and the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that it may be easy to do that which is pleasing to you. Ameen, summa ameen to all your du'as. Enjoy your day and have a great weekend. This comes from Mrs. Rahman. Shukran, and to you as well, Mrs. Rahman. We visit the marketplace and we'll continue on the other side of this, inshallah.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Gentlemen, it's back. The legendary Opanankan anti-stress shoe has returned to Brasilia and designer shoe outlet. Handcrafted in Brazil from ultra-soft premium leather, anti-stress comfort, diabetic friendly. Built for real, everyday wear. Tried, tested, and trusted by men, from the workday to weekends. Back in limited quantities. Available at Brasilia Pavilion, Midlands Mall, Westtown Square, and designer shoe outlet Westwood and South Coast Mall. Opanankan Anti-Stress. The peak of comfort technology is here.
Zakah is more than just charity. It is a duty, a trust, and a means to uplift those in need. For over 40 years, Islamic Relief has only distributed zakah through policies that comply with Sharia guidelines, endorsed by qualified scholars, making sure it only reaches those who are eligible. Give with Islamic Relief, where your zakah is our amana.
This and only this is Nightline. Nightline is the only program that allows you to listen to the opportunity to voice your opinion on any matter or any topic that concerns you. Also on Nightline, we interview the famous, the not so famous, and infamous. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Brother Muhammad Variawa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Anwar Jiwa. Join us every Saturday night from 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. on Nightline, the program designed especially for you, the listener.
Radio Al-Ansar, Durban, 90.4 FM. Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
The tax season can be a stressful time for many South Africans, but this year, thousands are facing unexpected tax bills that they never saw coming. From withdrawing money through the two-pot retirement system to earning extra income through side hustles, many taxpayers are discovering that seemingly straightforward financial decisions can carry significant tax consequences. To unpack the consequences and the current tax season, we have online with us Mr. Stian de Witt, the Executive Head of Financial Planning at MG Benefits. Mr. Stian de Witt, good morning to you. Thank you for joining me in the program this morning. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, sir. Thank you for joining me in the program this morning.
Good morning.
Now, many South Africans are receiving unexpected tax bills this year. What are the biggest tax traps catching people off guard?
One of the things that's currently a bit of a challenge is the fact that you sit with SARS that's starting to do lifestyle audits. Obviously, with technology and everything that's come into play, they have all the staff. So what do they do with their staff? So they enable technology and start assessing people on even lower tax brackets nowadays. So that's one of the things that is a bit of a challenge, is that people see things coming through where they auto-assessed, and also they might have additional income sources that's pushing them into additional higher tax brackets. So then when you do that, even your salary and everything that you earn as a employee is taxed at a higher rate. So that also creates a bit of a challenge for a lot of consumers.
Now, the two-pot retirement system has given people access to their retirement savings, but many didn't realize the tax consequences. Why has this now become such a major issue?
Unfortunately, some of the companies that deal with retirement fund administration and paying out two-pot claims, they some of them didn't do a proper tax assessment, because remember, when you claim on two-pot, there's a difference between what we call your average tax rate and your marginal tax rate. Now, on your two-pot claims, you are taxed at the marginal tax rate, not the average tax rate, which is the higher of the two. And unfortunately, a lot of companies and even individuals then realized, oh my goodness, now I took money out of it, and start saying, okay, no, you owe me additional taxes because those taxes weren't properly deducted by the retirement fund administrators.
And Mr. David, can you explain in simple terms how two-pot retirement withdrawals are taxed and why people are ending up owing SARS more than they expected?
Okay, that's a really good question. So what happens, let me be very practical on this. For instance, if you look at your salary and you earn an income of, doesn't matter what the amount is, and you are taxed, for instance, at a 20% tax rate average. So if you go and have a look at your pay slip and you take the income you earn and you take the tax and you divide the two by one another, then you'll see, let's say you're on a 20% tax rate. So 20% of your income are taxed on. Now what happens is your marginal tax rate is normally anything between 10 and 18% higher than your average tax rate. So for instance, if you contributed 1,000 Rand towards your pension or provident fund or your retirement fund, and they deducted, or you got the benefit of, let's say, 20%, so you effectively only paid 800 Rand of the 1,000 Rand. Now all of a sudden you go and you say, okay, I'm going to take money from my two-pot claims, and you withdraw that money and you're taxed at, let's say, 35%, which means you are actually, SARS is saying, okay, we gave you the 200 Rand benefit, but now we are taking 350 Rand or 35% of the 1,000 Rand they're taking. So a lot of people don't like paying. One of the things that people don't like paying is SARS. And unfortunately, there's other reasons for that. But the fact now is that now you're actually paying SARS more voluntarily than you actually want to.
Now, many people have turned to side hustles to cope with the rising cost of living. At what point does income from a side hustle become taxable?
Okay, also a really good question. One of the things that people need to understand is a side hustle is not you have something at your house and you sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and you earn an additional income of that, because that's after tax money that you bought that thing, like a second-hand TV or something. But if you start hustling and saying, okay, I'm going to do an Airbnb or have a rental income or start producing something and selling it online, or in situations like that, then the problem with that is seen as an income, and it is an additional income. Now, the one thing that people must be careful of, it's not only the income you earn, but also there's an expense a lot of times that's offset on that income. So, for instance, if you sell something for 1,000 Rand, but you produced, to produce that item cost you maybe 500 Rand. Your net profit is only 500 Rand. It's not the whole 1,000 Rand. So it's very important that when you do have a side hustle, that you make sure you keep all your slips and everything, because that has a problem if you don't do, because SARS's attitude is, you know what? If I do a lifestyle audit and I assess you and I see, okay, there's money coming into your bank account or out of your bank account, I'm going to tax you on it, and then you need to prove me wrong. And if you don't have the proper bookkeeping records of those transactions, then you might create yourself a massive headache when it comes to just going to SARS and trying to explain what happened.
So you're guilty until proven innocent. Is that correct? They can put it that way.
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, some people sell items online, bake from home, offer tutoring, do freelance work, etc. Does every type of side hustle need to be declared to SARS?
No, that's exactly to the previous point as well. Okay. Really good question. Not everything, but the moment you earn additional income revenue, yes. Now, there are ways, if you talk to a proper certified financial planner and a tax consultant or accountant, where you are able to go and say, okay, let's say, for instance, you're a couple and one individual in the family is only working, the other one is not. rather than go and register or let that other individual, let's say your husband or your wife, they earn that income, because remember, up to almost 100,000 Rand a year net profit on your business, you do not have to pay tax on that. So if you're a salary earner and your spouse is not, rather register that business on your spouse's name than doing it in your name.
And how important is it to keep records such as receipts, invoices, bank statements when earning additional income?
Yeah, very good question. If you don't do that, again, SARS is going to come and say, okay, I saw all this income, so how do you prove it? For instance, if you have a property that you're renting out, as a good example, you're renting out a property, but you renovated a portion of the property in order to do that. Those expenses can be offset against the income, and if you don't do it, you're going to owe SARS more than you actually have to pay them.
Okay. So it's absolutely important that you keep all vouchers.
Absolutely.
And now with the current economic pressures, many people are tempted to access retirement savings early. Is there a better way to manage financial emergencies without compromising long-term retirement security?
So at NMG Benefits, what we do is we go and we say, it's important that we first get you out of debt, because a lot of people, if they go and say, okay, if I just get out of debt, you actually give yourself a raise. Now, unfortunately, we sit in a scenario in South Africa where financial literacy is very, very low. So a lot of the financial institutions prey on that. So, for instance, things like reckless lending, where people are given money and they actually are not supposed to give money by the financial institutions, and also what we call prescribed debt. So you might have debt that's older than 3 years, and a lot of people then go and they don't realize those financial institutions, if they didn't action on those debt items over a 3-year period, then by law there's certain terms and conditions where that debt needs to be written off. And a lot of people still pay that debt for 10, 15 years. We've seen it for 10, 15 years where people pay, and they pay astronomical amounts of interest on that. So a lot of that stuff, you can actually go and first get yourself out of debt, make sure, and also we see people have 2,000-3,000 Rand on funeral policies. And a lot of times in their businesses, if they earn a pension, or they have a pension or provident fund, there are funeral policies inside of your group benefits that you can have access to. So there's a lot of things where if you sit with a proper financial planner, where they can go and say, okay, what are all the expenses, and look at your budget to start cutting on those first before trying to access your retirement money and things like that. Because now you're actually going and saying, okay, I'm making a plan here in the short term and then compromising my long-term retirement planning.
Mr. Stian de Witt, I want to thank you for joining me in the program and sharing that valuable information with us. But, right now we are all in a state of panic, having just heard what you've told us. Any advice for us, sir? So,
get professional help. And a lot of times it doesn't have to cost anything. We in NMG have a consulting or a counseling service. We complimentary, free of charge. We don't charge people for just guiding them through processes like that. And there's a lot of people like that in companies that can assist you. If you can go to your HR if you want to. But and also, if you're starting to earn a good income, it's better to pay someone a fee like a tax consultant to just guide you through the process, give you some principles. You don't have to use them in the long run, but just get knowledge and principles so that when you start earning a side hustle, that you're not getting into SARS crosshairs and they start coming for you. Because the problem is SARS actually tags people and you are flagged on their system the moment they see something happening. And every year they go and say, okay, is this guy or lady doing something wrong? So rather stay out of the crosshairs of SARS than getting into it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stian de Witt, and enjoy your weekend. All the best to you.
Thank you to you and your listeners as well.
Thank you. We spoke to Stian de Witt, the Executive Head of Financial Planning at MG Benefits, and he spoke to us about the current tax season, and he's spoken about the two-part retirement withdrawals, how they could leave South Africans owing SARS. So let's take cognizance of what Stian de Witt has told us, and we'll take it from there. 06090411056. A message comes from, well, just from Salnam. It says, life is strange. You arrive with nothing, spend your whole life chasing everything, and still leave with nothing. Make sure your soul gains more than your hands. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And jazakallah khair for that message. I think that message comes from Sister Amina Ali. Sorry, yes, it comes from Sister Amina Ali. Okay, the next message comes from Sister Shanaz, and she says, okay, I think she sent us a voice note in error. But anyway, she says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, salams and du'as. A message from Sister Leila Mita. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the blessed Ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you, Sister Leila Mita. Peace, blessings and salutations be upon Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah for another sunrise as it glorifies from sujood. Maybe what we bypassed will meet us on a different path of our lives. Perhaps certain bypass situations were better left unacquainted with. The may ease, protection and barakah cover you and your family. Ameen. Have a blessed and safe weekend. Salams and dua, Sister Leila Mehta and family. Her inspiring reflections this morning are, you can miss it and still move forward. And the hadith for this morning says, Bismillahi walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Sayyidina Aus bin Aus Thaqafi radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the best of your days is Jum'ah. On that day, Adam alayhi salam was created. On that day, he passed away. On that day, the trumpet will be blown. And on that day, all of creation will be swoon. So send a great deal of salutations upon me on a Friday, for your salutations are presented to me. They said, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how will our salutations upon you be shown to you when you have turned to dust? And he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah has forbidden the earth to consume the bodies of the Anbiya alayhi salam. Jazakallah khair for that, Sister Leila Mehta. And message from Sister Ruqayya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My Faizal Bhai and the Rise and Shine team. I love the number of Y's you got at the end there, Sister Ruqayya. Kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world, regardless of what you have. It costs nothing at all to be genuinely nice to others. Always remember, try to uplift others. Leave fingerprints and kindness wherever you go. If my feet ever find the road to Medina, would bow down and kiss the dust of these footsteps. Rahmatullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ameen. Your tears fell in sujood when no one saw. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala counted your each one. Be strong, your hope isn't lost, it's with Allah Almighty. Ameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aap aur aapki family ko hamesha khush aur salamat rakhe. Ameen. My Asif Bhai, always enjoy listening to the beautiful nasheeds you play on your show. It you say Allahumma Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, my Faizal, by your family, the team and the entire ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen summa Ameen. This comes from Sister Ruqayya. Jazakallah khair for that message as well. Okay, another message says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This message was deleted. Okay. Stop laughing, Asif, man, I'm on air. Message from Brother M.H. Osman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Faizal Bhai. Wa alaikum salam, Brother M.H. Osman. Maaf, last time it was too cold for me to stay up and listen to you, and buddy, enjoy your weekend. Bye, MH. I was just wondering what happened to you. But anyway, you can listen to us on this Friday night. You are listening to Rise and Shine on Radio Al-Ansar. There, one more message, Asif. From Sister Sarah Adam. Assalamu alaikum, my brother Faizal. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A cold morning, but sun popping out in PMB. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, love and salams to you all. Wa alaikum salam to you as well, Sister Sarah Adam. And I'm glad that the sun's popping out in PMB. You know what? It's popping out in Durban as well.
हमारा सहारा मोहम्मद का दर है हमें खौफ है ना हमें कोई डर है गमों से हमें तो सदा कमली वाले बचाते रहे हैं बचाते रहेंगे हम अपने محمد کی محفل سجاتے رہے ہیں.
Message comes from a WhatsApp number, so I take it it's for brother, sister, anonymous. We traveled Brazil and Argentina 21 years ago. Igaço was the highlight. Buzios was a small town we went to in Rio. I have family in Rio, and till today we make the famous Brazilian pudding, similar to cream caramel but has crushed braised pineapples as an ingredient. Still have the leather jacket we bought in Argentina. Great stuff, great stuff.
وہ حاجت روا ہے وہ مشکل کشا ہے وہ اپنے غلاموں کی بگڑی ازل سے بناتے رہے ہیں بناتے رہیں گے ہم اپنے گھروں میں دودوں کی شمعیں جلاتے رہیں جلاتے محمد کے نوکر محمد کی محفل سجاتے رہے ہیں سجاتے رہیں گے انشاءاللہ. یہ دنیا میں باغے ارم کی ہے باتیں خدا کی قسم یہ کرم کی ہے باتیں یہ دنیا میں باغے ارم کی ہے باتیں خدا کی قسم یہ کرم کی ہے باتیں. وہ فاروقی ہم بے سہاروں کو در پر بلاتے رہے ہیں بلاتے رہیں گے ہم اپنے گھروں میں درودوں کی شمعیں جلاتے رہیں گے جلاتے رہیں گے. محمد کے نوکر محمد کی محفل سجاتے رہیں گے سجاتے رہیں گے
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
At our bakery, freshness is baked into everything we make, from rustic sourdough loaves to soft paninis, cheese rolls and gourmet donuts. Discover the freshest artisanal bakes, warm and golden straight from the oven. Ensure there's something fresh for every occasion, whether it's dinner, a get-together, or simply something special for the table. Visit our bakery at Checkers-Cowie Park and Westwood Mall. Butchery, bakery and deli, certified by the NIHT.
The Sunday Lounge with Salma Kazi Wahab. 10 to 12. Latest nasheeds, celebrity artist features, events, news from the nasheed world. Top 10 countdown. The Sunday Lounge with Salma Kazi Wahab.
At Radio Al-Ansar, we value your feedback. If you have a broadcasting-related complaint, please send it in writing to the head of the Complaints Committee. Be sure to include your full name, contact details, a clear explanation of the complaint, and any supporting documents. You can email your complaint to feedback@alansar.org.za, that's feedback@alansar.org.za, or visit our administrative office at 207 West Road, Overport, Durban. Your voice matters to us.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
جیلانی 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 غوث اعظم جیلانی 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 غوث اعظم جیلانی یا پیر پیرا یا میر میرا یا شاہ جیلان یا غوث الاعظم یا غوث الاعظم یا عبد القادر سکین البغداد یا شیخ الجیلانی یا عبد القادر سکین البغداد یا شیخ الجیلانی. کہیں گر نہ جاؤں خدا رسم डगमगाए कदम गौसे आजम या अब्दुल कादिर सकीन अल-बगदाद या शेख अल-जिलानी मीरा वलियों के इमाम दे दो पंजतन के नाम मीरा वलियों के इमाम दे दो पंजतन के नाम हमने झोली है फैलाई बड़ी देर से मीरा हमने झोली है फैलाई बड़ी देर से डालो नजर करम सरकार डालो नजर करम सरकार डालो नजर करम सरकार अपने मंगतों पर एक बार हमने झोली है फैलाई बड़ी देर से मीरा हमने झोली है फैलाई बड़ी देर से तुम जो बनाओ बात बनेगी दोनों जहां में लाज रहेगी लाज रहेगी लजपाल करम अब कर दो लजपाल करम
South Africa's anti-immigration protests on 30th June drew thousands of demonstrators to the streets in several major cities, with a strong police presence ensuring marches remained largely peaceful. While the protests have reignited debate over immigration policy and border security, critics argue the conversation has become increasingly politicized ahead of the upcoming municipal elections. We have online with us political analyst Dr. Dale McKinley, and he will be, talking to us about the politics behind South Africa's anti-immigration protests. Dr. Dale McKinley, good morning to you, and thank you for joining me on the program this morning.
Yes, good morning to you and your listeners and viewers. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Now, Doc, can one say that these protests are linked to political mobilization ahead of the November municipal elections? And if so, what evidence do you see of that connection?
Yes, there's definitely a political connection. So if one noticed, March on March was an organization that appeared out of nowhere. It appeared late last year, very well resourced, very well organized. It was not a spontaneous, organic expression of dissatisfied citizens, and it clearly had a political agenda. And it was backed particularly by the Umkhonto we Sizwe party, that was clear, and also by other political parties, Action SA, Patriotic Alliance, if you remember the marches that took place in the Eastern Cape and other places earlier on. It's clear to us that while there obviously is a debate and discussions to be had around immigration issues and reform, there's no doubt about that this particular rise of this anti-migrant groups was a political move that always goes with elections. And we know that our November elections are coming up. And this is an issue that I think most of those political parties believe that they can capitalize on and they can get support for. So, yes, the political connection is clear. The politics behind it is clear.
Now, do you think that political parties are using immigration as an election issue? And if so, what impact could that have on social cohesion?
Absolutely. I mean, if we go back to even 2008, when the first anti-migrant xenophobic kind of violence took place, it always follows election cycles, generally speaking. And this is not unique to South Africa. This is something we see in the United States. We see it in Europe. We see it everywhere, where the migrants issues and the immigration issues get politicized, politically weaponized in order to get electoral support. What impact might that have? Well, of course, it has a whole range of impacts, because behind this rhetoric is oftentimes hate speech, violence, division, conflict. We've seen it in our country already, where people are taking the law into their own hands, acting in vigilante ways. That breaks the electoral code. It creates fear and division. And it is not conducive to an electoral cycle, electoral politics that is really free and fair. So it raises a range of different concerns around the fairness of the elections, as well as people's ability to make political choices free from coercion and free from fear and threat.
And what role do political leaders have in ensuring public debates around immigration remain factual and do not incite violence or discrimination?
A lot of responsibility. And in fact, this is one, I think, the biggest disappointments that most South Africans should probably feel, is though we seem to have a group of politicians, certainly not all of them, but a group of politicians, much like Donald Trump in the United States, who really don't care what the consequences of their actions or words are. They just serve them in order to serve their own party or personal interests. The inflammatory rhetoric. There have already been 4 cases that have gone before the Equality Court with certain politicians using hate speech and inflammatory rhetoric. This is concerning. What it does is it divides people amongst themselves. And in our context in South Africa specifically, I think there's a larger concern. It's not just about targeting of foreign nationals or so-called illegal immigrants. It's what we've seen also with ethnic politics, where it becomes division according to what language you speak and how you look. And that's taking us back to what I would call a dompas politics, a politics of division based upon identities, racial, linguistic, and other identities. And that's irresponsible, and it's against our constitutional values. So politicians must check themselves, because when they move down this road, it's a very dangerous one.
And Dr. McKinley, South Africa continues to grapple with high unemployment and service delivery challenges. They continue to grapple with this service and high delivery challenge. The unemployment and service delivery challenges. How would we address that?
Well, I mean, lies at the heart of why this has become such an issue for our people, because people are angry and frustrated, and rightfully so. And the reason why they're angry and frustrated is because we have an unemployment rate expanded over 40%, a youth unemployment rate over 70%. Our basic services in most of our major cities are falling apart. Our infrastructure in my hometown of Johannesburg, in particular, the richest city in the country, is almost bankrupt. So we have a situation where people are saying, well, what's going on? We're not being able to get the basics of life. And when they look and a party comes along and says, well, look at the foreign nationals, they're to blame. They're the ones that are taking the clinics, the education, they're taking your jobs. It's easy politics. It's lazy politics. And so that's basically what is used. It's a political weaponization of real issues. So it's not to say that we don't need to tackle inequality, we don't need to tackle poverty, but the answer is not. We can expel every single foreign national tomorrow from South Africa. This is not going to solve our fundamental problems. And so what many of us are saying and what other people are saying is, yes, let's have a debate about immigration reform. Let's fix certain of the laws, but let's fix them where they need to be fixed, which is in governance, corruption, mismanagement, and getting our own politicians to deliver what they promised.
And how much of the public frustration directed at immigrants is really about broader socioeconomic issues?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's what there's real pain, there's real anger out there, and it needs to be directed in the right place. That's what we're saying. We're directing it into the wrong place, and this we can see in the United States. Let me just give the example. Donald Trump promised all the working class people that their economic lives would get better. But then he doubled down, and instead of actually concentrating on the economy and concentrating on making prices lower, he went after the immigrants. Mm-hmm. And that can play to a certain constituency, but it's not going to solve your economic problems. So this is our challenge in South Africa. Is we're going to have to turn to the real causes, and the socioeconomic realities of our country are structural, they're historical. We need new economic policies, we need new governance models. We don't just need to scapegoat foreign nationals for the problems that we have created for ourselves.
And what would a balanced and effective immigration policy look like in South Africa while also addressing citizens' concerns?
Yeah, it's an important question. We do need immigration reform. We have corruption within the Department of Home Affairs. We have a documentation crisis. Let's remind our listeners and viewers that there's over 3 million South Africans that are undocumented, that don't have papers themselves. So this is not specific to foreign nationals. This is an issue about getting Department of Home Affairs right. We do need to make sure that people and employers cannot exploit workers simply because they're undocumented. We need to make sure that people, when they come into the country, have the right papers. All of those things correct. But the way you do that is you change your own laws. You basically make sure that you put the right people in place. You don't go violently attacking people simply because they're from Malawi and Zimbabwe. You treat people with dignity and respect. And if we want to be respected in the rest of the world, we must treat others as we would like to be treated. Otherwise, we're going down a very dangerous path where people will see South Africa as a pariah even on our own continent.
Now, looking ahead to the municipal elections, are you concerned that immigration could become an increasingly divisive campaign issue?
Yes, absolutely. I think there is a great deal of concern. Even the president and many other people have said the same thing. That this is, when you start politicizing these things and when you start using it for electoral politics, it becomes a fairly dangerous game. We've seen people's lives at stake. We've seen where this violence can go. We've seen how this can play itself out. And it creates a toxic environment for elections. Elections should be happening in a place where people can debate, absolutely. They can have arguments, but they do so in the feeling where if you vote, your vote is going to be a secret, and you're not going to pay a price for voting for somebody else. In other words, for people that you yourself choose. In this context, it's basically threats and violence that are being used to force people to vote in a particular way. And that's not about our constitutional democracy. So, of course, we're concerned. And I think the IEC and the Electoral Court have to pay very close attention to the behavior of politicians and political parties in the next few months.
Let's see how this pans up. But Dr. Dale McKinley, thank you very much for joining me on the program this morning and sharing those thoughts with us. I'm sure we're going to talk to you again as these stories develop. But sir, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. All the best to you.
Yes, thank you very much. My pleasure.
We spoke to political analyst Dr. Dale McKinley, and he spoke to us about the politics behind South Africa's anti-immigration protests.
मुस्तफा जाने रहमत पे लाखों सलाम शम्माए बज़ में हिदायत पे लाखों सलाम हम गरीबों के आका पे बेहद दरूद हम बेहद दरूद हम फकीरों की सरबत पे लाखों सलाम शम्माए बज़ में हिदायत पे लाखों सलाम लाखों सलाम लाखों सलाम.
Message from Sister Pakistan Nizami. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a very chilly morning, Faizal bhai. Yes, can't go anywhere in a weather like this. Enjoying your beautiful nasheeds. Have a nice weekend. Pakistan Nizami. Sending love from a distance. Jazakallah khair for that. And another long message from Sister Ruqayya. She says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My Faizal bhai and the Rise and Shine team. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but the echoes are truly endless. Remember, no one is too tall to see tomorrow, and no one is too rich to buy yesterday. Be humble and appreciate life the way it is. My Faizal bhai, Jazakallah so much for reading my messages while smiling. I know you're smiling. I know smiling is for free, so keep smiling. It's so important to make someone's day. My Asif bhai, beautiful heart-touching nasheed, make me very emotional. Jazakallah. Sister Ruqayya, Jazakallah khair for your messages. Very inspiring. And of course, Asif is smiling from ear to ear. He says thank you very much as well. After reading those messages, we're going to be listening to a voice clip or an audio clip, and it talks about families returning to destroyed homes in northern Gaza. 9 months into a so-called ceasefire, returning to northern Gaza no longer means rebuilding what was lost. For many families, it means finding a space amongst the ruins in areas just meters from Israeli military control. Not the best of situations, but of course, let's listen to this clip. And of course, the message comes, I think it's come from Sister Rueda. She says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, Jazakallah for a great show, have a Mubarak day. Shukran for that. And Sister Shana says, lovely nasheed.
After the ceasefire, Yahya Muharram brought his family of 8 back to northern Gaza, only to find their past reduced to a dangerous mound of concrete.
I'm living on top of the rubble of my destroyed house. The place is not suitable for living. Rats attack us while we are sleeping here, and we cannot even go out at night.
Outside the tent, movement here is measured by how close you are to a line that cannot be crossed.
We are living a difficult life near Israeli-controlled areas known as the Yellow Line. People here are killed almost every day. There is random gunfire, and many who go outside don't come back.
Inside their tent, the ground is literally slanted, a constant physical imbalance, mirroring everything they have lost.
Everything is missing. Everything feels chaotic. I used to keep the house organized, fill water from the tap. Now I don't have a mattress, gas, or even gas cylinder. I cook over fire.
This part of Gaza has seen the most destruction, and what were once dense urban areas now exist as vast fields of rubble.
The physical hardship here is clear, but so too the psychological weight carried by this family. For mothers like Rania, returning to the north has not brought peace, but it only magnified the agonizing grief of a family forever broken by this war.
That grief stems from a tragic loss, suffered while the family was fleeing south under heavy Israeli fire.
The hardest thing in my life is losing my son. Now, when I wake up, I check on my children immediately. I always feel like they will be lost, that they will disappear like the one who is gone.
The United Nations reports that more than 90% of Gaza's population remains displaced. For those who return to the ruins, the ceasefire offers no sanctuary, only the quiet terror of waiting to see if they will lose what little they have left. Abdul Wahab Hamad, TRT World, Gaza.
Now, what makes South Africans so friendly? South Africa is often called the Rainbow Nation, and one thing visitors regularly notice is just how warm and welcoming our people can be. Whether you're in a busy shopping center, waiting in a queue, watching a soccer match, or taking a taxi, it's not unusual to strike up a conversation with someone you've never met before. South African supporters attending the FIFA World Cup in North America caught the world's attention. Video on social media showed fans singing together, hugging complete strangers, taking selfies, and creating unforgettable moments with people from different countries. It was a beautiful reminder of something many South Africans already know. Friendliness comes naturally to us. In fact, a global ranking based on the agreeableness trait of the Big Five personality test placed South Africa as the friendliest country in the world, ahead of countries like Greece, Croatia, Mexico, Australia, and Canada. So what makes South Africa so friendly? Good question. South Africans have also learned resilience. Our country has faced many challenges over the years, from political struggles to economic hardship and natural disasters. These experiences have taught many people the importance of supporting one another. Sometimes a smile, a joke, or a helping hand can make someone's day a little easier. Our love for sport also plays a huge role. Whether it's soccer, rugby, or cricket, sport has an amazing ability to bring people together. For 90 minutes, differences are forgotten as everyone cheers for the same team. The excitement creates instant friendships and shared memories. Of course, no country is perfect. South Africa continues to face serious challenges, including crime, inequality, and unemployment. Yet, despite these difficulties, many South Africans continue to greet each other warmly, offer directions to lost visitors, and share a laugh with complete strangers. Perhaps that's our greatest strength. We choose kindness even when life isn't always easy. Asif, thank you very much for the beautiful nasheeds that you played, and thank you for having it engineered for me this morning. Wasima Bucks, thank you for the logistics, and Hajakora, thank you for having produced the show. We're going to be listening to the news after this by Tabila Duma, and then we're going to our Peter Marisvik studio, where we will be joining Sister Shabnam Ismail on the PMB Pulse. Today she'll be discussing the silent killers, know your numbers before they know you, and her guest is Dr. F.M. Aku, a general practitioner. That's after the news at 9, read by Tabila Duma. Time for me to bid you farewell, but before I wish you well, just to remind you that the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. May Allah SWT accept all your du'as. From myself, Faizal MJ Suleman, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of today. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
साए में कोई हमें जगाए क्यों फिर के गली गली तबाह आका सब दिखाए क्यों दिल को जो अक्ल दे खुदा गली
No, I wish to well already, but Sister Sadia sent a message and she said, you must read this, Brother Faizal. So, okay, Sister Sadia. Assalamu alaikum from Sadia. Have a beautiful day ahead. Salams and duas. You are the greatest project you'll ever work on. Restart, reset, refocus as many times as you need. Just don't give up. Sure we won't, but time for us to bid you farewell. Assalamu alaikum.
Radio Ansaar.
Gentlemen, it's back. The legendary Opanankan anti-stress shoe has returned to Brasilia and designer shoe outlet. Handcrafted in Brazil from ultra-soft premium leather, anti-stress comfort, diabetic friendly. Built for real, everyday wear. Tried, tested, and trusted by men, from the workday to weekends. Back in limited quantities. Available at Brasilia Pavilion, Midlands Mall, Westtown Square, and designer shoe outlet Westwood and South Coast Mall. Opanankan Anti-Stress. The peak of comfort technology is here.
Iqra wafham. Read and understand the Holy Quran. Your program giving you the most powerful manual for life. It's the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Last Testament. The ayahs are recited, translated and explained for us to understand by various learned scholars of Islam. Comes to you every Sunday at 8 p.m. and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Iqra wafham. Read and understand.
اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى من اليهود الغاصبين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المرابطين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم شد أزرهم وسدد رميهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم الطف بإخواننا في كل مكان يذكر فيه اسمك يا أرحم الراحمين. استنصروك يا الله فانصرهم. اللهم ارحم الضعفاء والفقراء والمساكين والأيتام والنازحين والمشردين والأسرى يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم أنج المستضعفين من المسلمين في فلسطين. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا. اللهم كن لإخواننا المرابطين في المسجد الأقصى. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم فرج همهم، نفس كربهم، داوي جرحاهم، عاف مبتلاهم، اشف مرضاهم، ارحم موتاهم، تقبل شهداءهم.
Tonight, a child in a shack will try to sleep through the cold. No heating, no insulation, just thin walls and a biting cold. African Muslims Agency is on the ground, reaching families in informal settlements across South Africa with blankets and winter essentials. Help us spread warmth.